It is already 5 minutes into the program here, and already I can tell the difference in the headsets and the headphones that there's no mixer. We're back to our regular mixer. Here's some stuff that's pretty interesting. Bernie Sanders visited my area of the Broome County, Binghamton area at the Maine's arena here. The forum is having crews come to it. Hillary is supposed to visit. Donald Trump, I hope, visits. I have nothing to say. I think it was a good rally. I think it's good that they're coming. I think it's good that he's covering areas of New York that are important to people. He's talking about Native Americans. He's talking about giving back to the families that the indigenous people. All that's good. So we start the show for the first time in history with something good. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. We're ready on the program. We're ready to go. We're ready to make a difference in this program. Not really. The number to call is 607-238-3816. And we start the program with some news from NASA. New satellites, new drones are up in space. Very little about it. People, these drones are seen. These drones are around. I mentioned this last week. They're here. They're around. With these political baits, I bet you anything, and I'm staring at the person that's sitting across from me right now. I bet you anything. I bet you anything that they're here for the politics. They're here for the politicians. They're here for the government, so to speak, people running around. But you never know. I have a cold this week. Lack of sleep. 7 ways to make therapy more affordable. Going from drones and politics and getting off that subject now. I've talked about it for the last 3 weeks, and I'm practically tired of it. So Lindsay Holmes, of Healthy Living editor for the Huffington Post, wrote an article about substance abuse and mental health services. 7 ways to make therapy more affordable. And it's also, in parentheses, you deserve good help. The Huffington Post I often wonder about, but this is very nice. Mental health do not go away. The health problems don't go away. Mental health illnesses do not just go away. Mental health does not go away. Mental health systems do not go away. And it starts talking about the major benefits of therapy is that you'll learn skills that you can manage your mental health and well-being throughout your life. It talks about the health industry. It talks about money and services and all this stuff. Half the reason why they probably wrote this article. But one of the ways in here is sliding scale therapy. One of the most common ways to cost to see a therapist is to call the sliding scale, in which the price per session is essentially negotiable based on your current income. Look into university counseling centers. A lot of them do, part of the university in training does it for lower prices. And here's the third one. Look for affordable insurance plans already out there. In other words, whatever your insurance plan is and whatever it recommends, do that. Don't fight it. Don't go somewhere else because you don't like what they have for you. Here's something I didn't like in the article. It goes into cautioning about participating in research studies, participating in research type settings. Well, it does say free university centers and free public centers and all that stuff. This university stuff and these subjects and these research tests, I disagree with them. I think they abuse the system in a way because they're only after results for their study. They're not after results for the person. It's not personable. It's not for individuals. It's for the study. So if the study says A, B, C, and D, they're going to do A, B, C, and D and not count E and F, where a personal psychotherapist would be. Now, I do know, seeing a counselor myself, obviously, people realize that. In the middle of my head cold now. The weather's been doing it to me. I realize that you can't always do this stuff. You can't have this stuff. You can't manage this stuff. But the studies are worse. It also talks about in here how managing it is based on money. The whole system is based on mental health money. What's affordable, what's not, who wants to accept your insurance plans and who doesn't. It's a very good article. It's by the Huffington Post again, folks. Some other news about NASA and some of its findings recently. There's some other stuff about government stuff. Bernie Sanders, I told you I was going to get away from politics, but this is totally different. Talks about the indigenous people, which he did talk about. I just spoke about that. But it goes in further depth. It goes into how some of these people are living in absolute poverty and absolute disgusting living conditions. Folks, I encourage you to help the indigenous people. Up here we have the Iroquois Indians. I don't know what you might have where you are. Maybe something of that nature, I'm not sure. Again, dealing with a head cold. Dealing with the head cold. It's not the greatest, but we got to deal with it. Do you really need to go to a dentist twice a year? Do you really need to get an annual physical? Do you really need to stretch and exercise? These are questions that are asked as a part of a health study now. This health study has been covered in it's going into the 2016 season. Part of health season. It's a health website I got it on. Trying to find it for you, but anyways. It talks about knowing these things. Centers for Disease Control. There's other ones here like the ecology something. I can't even pronounce some of this stuff. But it's in the Atherton-Boney in the District of Columbia. And goes into some of these researchers. Via Getty, whatever it is here. But what it's telling you is actually on this thing, do you really need to filter your water? Do you really need to eat food that you use by the date? Do you really need to wipe down the yoga mat or surfaces before using them? But the one I got really nice is, do you really need to eat food by the use date? Yes, or freeze it. Michelle or Michael Rager, registered dietitian. I think it's Michelle. I can't really pronounce how they say this name here. Registered dietitian and the president of the Pennsylvania Academy of Nutritional and Dietetics. A sell-by date, however, is a different story. Depending on the product, it can be kept for days or weeks before you need to eat or freeze it. If perishable product is frozen, it is safe identity as long as it is frozen. But the quality may deteriorate over the time, and it shows stuff like frozen meals, meats, chicken. I don't know what the difference in the meat is, beef, chicken, and fish. But anyways, to me it's all meat. Frozen vegetables. Then it goes on to how to wash the products and stuff. So it says to check the use by date. Because a lot of these things go rotten on you if not used by that date. Like mayonnaise is on here. Ketchup, mustards. Other things are on here. A list of stuff. But it's just this ad here I got off another health website. It's health websites. Well, actually that one was sent to me. If you have ads or articles or anything you want to send me, go ahead. www.thewageshow.com. Our phone number is 607-238-3816. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com, tunein.com, WDBN Radio. Some of the articles you do send me are not, but some of them are political, and I don't get into that. Looking at the time now, we got to go on a break. We'll be right back right after this. Pizza. I'm eating pizza, and you can hear me crunching it down as I have a runny nose, hoping the runny nose doesn't fall into the pizza that I'm eating. So, I don't care if I'm eating in your ear today because I have a cold. And that's something we're working on, this cold. Gatorade. The cold medicine. The infiltrated structure of my home. My bookcase broke, and all of my Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I knew it was going to break, folks. I knew it was. And it sits right over there. If you're not on the iVlog TV chat room, on iVlogTV.com, The Wade Show, you can't see me pointing over to my left. But I'm pointing over to the left. That's where the bookcase was. And if you remember, all of the wonderful, wonderful books were on there. Dungeons and Dragons, and all the other books that I normally have on there. Well, the thing comes crashing down with all of my collector's books and all my other books, my informational books and the books, okay, folks? So now I gotta have them a new bookcase. I have the books right there. I have, again, I'm pointing and showing where stuff is, but if you're not in the iVlog TV chat room, you can't see it. So that's where I have my stuff. So I'm not happy. Got a cold, not happy about my bookcase. My mixer overheated, had to take that back. So I'm not very happy with a lot of stuff. And to make a longer story, even shorter, we got to go back to all the old equipment, the mixer, the other thing. So, you know, it's not going to be very easy, but we're going to manage. We're going to manage, folks. We're going to get through it. You are going to have the best programming there is. You're listening to WDBN Radio on TuneIn. You're listening to www.Diversity Broadcasting Network. You're listening up here on the www.thewadeshow.com. Maybe you're listening on iVlogTV.com chat room. And the other broadcasting networks that are out there that air my show. Well, you're going to get the best programming I can give you, one way or the other. It's all going to be great. It's all going to be wonderful. It's all going to be hippie, hop, ready to go, and all of that stuff. My nose is running right now, and that's why I'm wiping it with a tissue. I hate these tissues. I do. Oh, I hate these tissues. But anyways, I have to deal with the tissues because the tissues are the only things I have right now. The only things I have that I can call my own for right now, because I got them myself. I bought them. Anyways, I'm ranting about tissues. The fact is, these tissues suck. They're not all I have, but they're all I have here at the desk. They're not all I have here. They're all I have at the desk. And because of that, that's why I feel this way. That's why I think it's time for a change of tissues. Anyways, so the desk part, the bookcase part, the mixers, everything is going. But you're going to get the best programming we can for you. Let's go back to the news here. Some more news while I was on the break. Bernie Sanders, I guess, did a wonderful job. I give credit when credit is due. I'm not against Bernie Sanders. I'm not like, mentally anguished in poverty over it. But I just, I have some other thoughts, and I've explained them before. But that's the way it goes. Now, Bernie Sanders, I guess, is higher in the percentage rating than Clinton right now. Some of Clinton's views are getting lower and lower, in my opinion. If I had to choose between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, that's the question that the person emailed me. Who would you choose? So, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. I would not choose Clinton. Bernie Sanders is who I would choose to answer your question. I'm going to answer it. I'm tensing up answering it. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So, like I said, I don't dislike Bernie Sanders. I just have some opinions, and that's the way it goes. And that's what a political rights are. That's what our political right is. That's what our human rights are. So let's get away from politics. The phone lines are open. 607-238-3816 is the number to call if you want to be live on the program. Our iVlog TV chat room is open. Our things are doing well. We're doing well here. Last week we didn't let any of these violational creeps slip through, making it hard on us so we could have the show, making the show irritable to do. To the point that we can't do the show. Irritable to the point that it just gets frustrating. That's the way it is. That's the way it is in this business, where we have to be that way, where we have to get that thing out. We have live phone calls coming in. Through Jive Communications, we got them. We got other phone calls coming in on the other line there. But 607-238-3816. Fridays is a rebroadcast. Maybe you're listening to the rebroadcast today. Go up to www.tunein.com, WDBN Radio. And always on my website, www.thewageshow.com, has my archives. We have the archives up there. We have what's going on. We have what people want. We have some of the things that people look for when they have broadcasts. And we have archives dating back before. Basically a history up there of stuff. Now, the network that I wasn't allowed to air my shows on or had a problem when it was dropped. I'm down to 3 networks. Diversity Broadcasting Network is one of them. And I have 2 other locations that the show is on. I may just go with Diversity Broadcasting, not the others. But I like to get my show out there. We also have advertising opportunities. If you're listening to this and you have a business and you'd like to grow your business, and you'd like your business to become bigger and better and all that stuff, go up to the website, www.thewageshow.com. And we have some advertising and sponsorship information for you up there. But look at the time. We have to go on another break. We got a set amount of breaks we have to do now. So we're going to hit this break. When we come back, I'll have more for you. And it might be even better than what we got now. Who knows? So, www.thewageshow.com. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. We'll be right back right after that. And we're back. The show that brings you the best entertainment spectrum. I'm looking at my emails here. Let's take a look at these. If you can't, sifting through my emails here. I keep getting a repetition now. They're saying, why am I for Bernie Sanders? Why am I doing it? Here's another one. Last week you talked briefly on the animal activist stuff. I talked 2 weeks for that one. And here's one about the show. What's going on with the number? What's going on with the show? We'd like to be a part of it. Well, go up to my website. Find out some information there, www.thewadeshow.com. The answer about the animals, I got off that subject. I was given a phone call by one of the representatives of the animal rights activists. We had a nice conversation on the phone. I agreed that I'm not going to say anything anymore, and they're not going to say anything anymore. It was an agreement to kind of just shut up on both ends. Stop pestering me, I'll stop pestering them. Stop their nonsense, I'll stop mine. And all that kind of stuff. It was indeed a nice conversation, so to speak. It was a conversation that I feel was good. I feel that we covered both ends of our argument here. So last week's comments about stuff has been done. I said what I said, and I still think that these animal rights activists go too far. I still think some of their topics are broad and that they just don't do it right. Now, I'm not for animal cruelty. I'm not for people that violate animal cruelty laws. I'm not saying that. I discussed it last week, and I'm through with that. So that email's done. Let's go to this one here. Why are you choosing Bernie Sanders? Okay. I said I agree with Bernie Sanders on some of his things. The Native American indigenous people of America should be reconciled with, should be made into friends instead of enemies. We need to do something on the way we treated them. We need to do something on the way we still treat them. It's awful how we treat other human beings, and we need to do something about it. What is going to be done? I don't know, because my comment was on that earlier in this program as well, is when he gets into office, that determines what is done. Not now. You can say a million things. Hillary can say it. Cruz could say it. Trump could say it. Sanders could say it. Any of them could say anything they want to say now, when they're in the office, in the chair, behind the desk. That's when it all counts. What can they do then? What will they be doing then? What will be done then? That is what we're talking about. That is what we're sitting here saying, and what we're doing, and what we're trying to describe to you folks that's happening. That is. Nothing else but that. I feel that Donald Trump has a lot of ideas that I like. There's a lot of things I don't like. Now, Bernie Sanders, I didn't disagree with what he said, but I just think there's other factors there that's not going to let him do what he wants to do. And not doing what he wants to do is the fact that I don't want to vote for somebody. I don't want somebody saying they're going to do stuff and then it's not going to be done. I wasted my vote. I wasted my thought process. I wasted a lot of things because I wanted something and it didn't happen. And that's for you too. You need to think about this. Is it can be done? Is your vote going to be wasted voting for somebody that's not going to be able to do what you want them to do? And, you know, Bernie Sanders has been around a long time up in Vermont. He's a Vermont senator and all that stuff, and he's done great things. But, you know, like I said, it just counts behind the desk. There's other things that is happening with the political stuff that I'm just shocked by. I'm shocked by these rallies. I'm shocked by the way people are being treated. I'm shocked that you ask a question to these people, like Bernie Sanders, for instance. and you get no reply. I asked a question about Donald Trump. I got an email back with some stuff. That shows me that he wants to see to it that I am tended to, that I matter to him as a voter, that my vote matters to him if he's going to answer my questions, and that he's going to pay attention to me. So that's out. Here's the other part of the email. It's talking about the Native Americans here. What can we do? Okay, folks, I really don't know what we can do. I know what I can do. I can keep fighting for their rights. I can keep having my listeners fight for their rights. Maybe interview them on the show. I've asked to interview them. They've refused. Up in my area, we have a place called, here in New York State, it's called Syracuse, New York. There's the Iroquois Indian tribes up there, and they own the land. They leased the land to Syracuse government, so to speak. And the city of Syracuse is on leased land, and they're fighting up there. I don't believe in this fight. I think it's nonsense. I think there's things that can be done. I think there's ways that can be worked around. I've said this many a times, but nobody wants to listen. Now I'm saying it on my show. Maybe you can listen. Maybe you can get the word out too. And there's a lot of websites out there. There's just so many. Somebody's in the iVlogTV.com chat room said, where do we go? There's so many chat rooms. There's so many boards. There's so many websites. There's so many areas of information. There's so many that you just gotta find something and like it. The Native American College Fund is something that I strive for. I want to see them get the college, get the education they need. Some of them don't even have the equivalent to our high school educations. And that's sad. Now I realize that they're on a reservation. I realize that handed down information, handed down traditions are there, and these traditions are repeated, and these traditions are generational, so to speak. They're repeated through the generations, they're done through the generations, but that doesn't stop somebody from having a regular education. If they want to advance, maybe they want to leave the reservation and study and then come back and use those skills that they learned somewhere else for their own reservation. Social working skills, maybe political skills, job skills, construction, and working skills that they have. Maybe they want to teach other people about these skills so that they can become more self-sufficient on their reservation. Some reservations don't have water. They don't have adequate disposal of waste like sewage and the black and brown water, so to speak, where the dirty stuff is taken out. No garbage. Some of them don't have police. Some of them don't have fire. Some of them do, but it's not adequate enough to say, hey, this is great and it's well done. And we need to change that for them. We need to make them feel comfortable where they are. We need to make them feel at home where they are, and make sure that their areas that they live in is just like the villages and towns and cities that we live in, that there's comfort, that there's laws that are followed. I know some stories of landlords and other property owners that they have property from, and they do the business deals and stuff. These property deals are done wrongly to them, and their rights are not covered. Their rights are not done. Their rights are not what we call adequate. Their rights are violated. Their rights are not maintained. And that's, to me, that's disgusting that we're going to treat a human being that way. That's disgusting to me that we can treat other humans in that fashion, no matter what they are. And that form is disgusting to me. that these people are just like us. They're no different. Um, we say let's have the true American pride. Well, they are the true Americans. They were here before any of us. Maybe my background's a little different than yours, maybe, but people that came from other countries, the English, the Spanish, the French, they came here and they tried to conquer the land. The Americas, so to speak, were conquered, and they succeeded. Well, that's not fair to these people. A lot of what they have is depleting. A lot of their rights, their religious ways, their ways of life. I don't really know how to explain it to you folks that are listening to this unless you actually know what I'm talking about. And Bernie Sanders spoke about this at our Floyd Mains Arena. I heard some other stories that he mentioned and things that he said that I disagreed with, but that was something big for me, is that people are going to be treated humanely. People's rights are going to give their God-given human rights are going to be given back to them, and we're going to start treating people with dignity and respect. That's big. I don't see Donald Trump doing that. I may ask about that. I am the type of person to make sure somebody's views are there. Make sure somebody that wants their views out there. Ask some of the questions. And I tell a lot of people, ask the questions nobody else wants to ask. Somebody wants to know information about animal rights, Native American rights, human freedoms. Ask the questions. That's what you got to do. That's part of politics, folks. The President of the United States is in charge of this. They can do stuff too. The Congress, the Senate, the judicial system, the lawmaking system, and the President, they're all a big circle. And they keep going around and around. And that's how our democracy is made. If you're listening to us today from somewhere else, I know we have a few Canadian listeners and a few United Kingdom listeners. That's how America's made. That's how we do things. That's how everything should be done, in fact, I believe. Even with a monarchy, even if you have one ruler, it should be made based on the people's needs and people be respected. And that's how people get respected. That's how people are respected. They're honored. Their lives matter. They act decently. And that's something that is really up there, really, really good, and is up there, and it should be maintained. I'm coming up on the hour of the part of the show where we run into the second half here, which is catching up to me pretty quickly here, actually. I've taken my 2 breaks. I don't want to take another break. We got some more stuff in this thing. Got some interesting science facts going on. And that lady, I don't know her name, but she comes on before my show. Last week she did. Sometimes she comes after. She's got some wonderful information. Wonderful program she has. Cowboy, who's in the iVlog TV chat room, he has a wonderful program. Girl Wolf, I think her name is Victoria or something. We have Valenda, who's in our iVlog TV chat room. That show is wonderful. And don't forget, folks, you can go up to www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com if you believe your show could be a part of the Diversity Broadcasting Network, which I support fully. I'm fully engaged in all the things that are happening over here. It's wonderful. I'm fully engaged in all the things that will be happening. I'm kind of moving up in the levels over here. You can tune in to the WDBN radio on TuneIn.com. www.tunein.com is WDBN radio. Maybe you're already listening to us on the radio. You can go to my YouTube channel and see our shows on the YouTube channel that I am allowed to put up on YouTube. YouTube's getting stricter. There's some rules up there now that I gotta follow. I gotta pay attention to this stuff. I can't fool around with it. I have to do what I need to do to make sure my shows are done well and done respectably now. And I do that. I haven't waited from any of that, to be honest with you. And I haven't gotten away from any of that stuff. I've done everything right the way it should be. That's why I said YouTube advertising, maybe I will check it out for money spending wise. Money, getting the money out there and getting some sponsors and advertisers. You can go up to my website if you want to, and only if you want to, which I hope you do, www.thewadeshow.com, and look at all the sponsoring and advertising information I have for you up there. Don't forget to contact www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. They have great packages for you to expand your business, get yourself notified, and get yourself out there. It's great what they're doing over here. The next stack of stuff we have here. Oh, we do have a break we have to go on, actually. These breaks are broken up in every so often, but it is right here. I got to take this one. I didn't want to take the last one, but I got to do this one. This is a PSA or something they have. So if they're doing the PSAs, I got to do it. Got to fit 4 of these into the program and 2 regular advertisements mandatorily, which I think is pretty silly. I'm trying to rearrange it so it's all done on one reel type, because I sit here for how many minutes it is, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Maybe you don't hear the ads. I know on YouTube the ads are taken out. On my archive program, I sometimes am required to take them out. But the radio station, the WDBM radio, and the 2 other networks I'm with, they have their own stuff they input in there. So that's why the breaks are the way they're set up. They tell me this is when the break is, and I have to do it that way. I can't argue. I can't change things. So, all right, www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. Folks, we'll be right back right after this. All right, we're back. We're back on the second part of the program, running down to the second, almost upper half. Answered the phone. There was nobody there. By the way, folks, writing to me telling me that the phones don't work don't help when I know they do work. They work. All you got to do is make sure you dial the right number. Make sure you're doing what you need to do correctly. Make sure you're doing the phone systems the right way by pressing the numbers. I'm not sure what the number is because we changed it. Changed a little bit about the system. We know it's good. 607-238-3816, www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. And during the break, I got to think. Some of the information about the Native American, questioning this email that I have, questioning the person that's in the iVlog TV chat room, that I asked the question on the break: how do we know that they're not doing their part? In other words, I think the argument is just like a few things about the Native Americans not doing what they're supposed to do, and that's how we're having troubles helping them. Well, that's the argument. The argument is, what are they doing? What are we doing? That's part of the argument, folks. It's just part of it. I know we have offered help for the ones in my area, and they refused it because they didn't want it from us. And that worries me as I sit here and yawn. But that worries me. And then I almost burped myself right there. But it worries me in the fact that if we're offering help and they don't want to help and they don't want to do anything about it and they don't want to try to better themselves and they don't want to try to get themselves up to the par that they need to be at, or they have so much hate in their hearts or hate in their minds or hate in their bodies that they don't want to use our help that we offer to them. For whatever reason we offer it to them. If they don't want to do that, then that's up to them. The Native Americans don't want to sit there and do that. They don't want to have the help. They don't want to accept the help. They don't want to do what's needed to be done for the help to be there for them. Then that's not my problem. That's not the problem that I want to address either. It's a problem that's been there for a very long time, getting both sides to sit down and agree. But I do think that our government, the United States in general, needs to shuffle themselves over a little bit, because they're the ones that might be causing, some of the problem a little bit more. There's other laws and other things that could be dealt with. The lands being taken away from the animals that they hunt. Big profit companies coming in and ruining the land, ruining their homes. And it's not just the indigenous people and the Native Americans. I don't really know what the word to use. I don't want to use the word Indian because that's not very nice to them. But what are these things encroaching on them? They're disturbing them. They're making their way of life hard. And the Native Americans believe that the land is everyone's. So I'm sure if you said I would like to have a 3 football fields full of land for my business, that they're not going to let you not have it. They're not going to chase you away. They're not going to harm you for having it. As long as you let them have their 3 football fields of land for what they want, everybody can work together. Everybody can have what they need and what they want to do. It doesn't need to be a big fight and a war. And I think that's the overall conclusion to this argument that we see out there, is that everybody can work together if they want to. It's just two sides don't want to. The United States government doesn't want to do what they did. They don't want to owe up to what they did wrong. And the Native Americans don't want to grit their teeth and take the help. They don't want to repeat past offenses, which I don't blame them. But anyways, we're going into, like I said, the second top of the second half here, more into the middle. This week's show seems to be going a little faster. Now that we got this call thing all situated where I answer the calls on the break, people are complaining, which I hold in my hand. I hold here in my hand 3, 4, I just said the stacks of paper clipped together emails complaining about the fact that I answered during the break. Well, folks, I do that because for you. I do that because some of you don't want to speak. Some of you don't want to talk. Some of you want to scream into the phone. Most of you do. And I think it's nailed it down to the fact that I have my regular listeners here that are listening to the program, that are trying to get information for themselves and listen to a good program. And here we have people that want to ruin it for everyone. And I don't want that to happen anymore. I want it to be a good, honest program. I want the program to be nice. I want it to be settled. I want it to be something that people can enjoy, that people can say, hey, I like the program, tell their friends about it, and all of that stuff. And that's what we're aiming at. We're aiming at to have a nice program, a good program, a program that you can call your own, a program that you can speak to your friends about. www.thewadeshow.com has the archives. Listen to last week's program. listen to other stuff, find out what we're doing, find out what we're talking about this month. Some of the stories in the news we are covering. We're getting real busy with this election year coming up here. I may have to dive into politics. I may have to jump into the big pool of politics and start swimming around. Maybe I'll throw an inner tube in there or something so I can stay afloat. But it's going to have to be done. So on to the last email here. Well, okay. All right. Just telling me I'm doing well and to keep going. I like to have sometimes those emails. Sometimes I don't. Keep going could mean what? Keep going in the deep end and sink, or keep going in the shallow end and get out? What are you telling me to keep going at? But what I think they're telling me is to keep going. Keep plugging away. Keep doing the show. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com is all our information about a broadcaster. Somebody just asked in the iBlog TV chat room, what's this network? It's Diversity Broadcasting Network. It has all sorts of stuff. Independent artists, singers, songwriters, musicians, artists. For the music, we have independent shows like myself. We're not big corporate. We're little people that have voices that want to be heard. There's paranormal shows up there. I think there's a television part of it for kind of public access type deal shows that people have about certain subjects. You got to find out more information from the management up there. You can write to them on the www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com website. Go up there and find the contact section and go ahead and contact them. My website, since you're asking what's the difference between all the websites, my website is my personal show website, www.thewayshow.com. I have my archives, my information, the news, and what's going on. I have a what I call the advertising board, or the sponsor board, where we have our sponsors that do partake in the show, and Diversity Broadcasting Network, the people that help them out, I also have up there. I also put it on my Facebook. I also have a YouTube. I have a lot of this stuff going on, and a lot of people are taking part in it. It's growing. It started very small, and we're growing. We're growing up to what I think should be done, and we're growing into a larger spectrum for this show. I have moved. What I did was I moved. Somebody's asking about what all this is. Well, the microphone's here, and if you can't see this, you got to get in the iBlogTV.com chat room. You really do, folks. The live program, as I do it live, I interact with the chat room here. And the microphone's here. We have a old mixer here. The other one overheated, and I had to return it. We have our computer here and our phone system here. And what we do, you're asking why everything's the way it is set up for me. It's my personal preference to have it set up this way. It looks nice. We're doing more and more stuff with it. We're having more and more stuff going on. We're looking to move some other stuff around. Maybe get even a studio room, so to speak, so that the studio can be held and things can be done the proper way that they want to be done in the studio. So everything would be done studio-wise instead of here live in my small home. But that never came about. So what happened from that, I moved everything into my home. Instead, I will run everything. I got mad at the other network we were with. I got mad at even Diversity Broadcasting. I got mad at everybody, and I moved it all in here. And if everybody remembers, when I first came on the iBlog TV network here, some things were touchy. Some people didn't want me here, some people did. So this is the setup I got. And this microphone is, I got a Radio Shack. I got the mixer Radio Shack, Mic Boom Online, the headphones Radio Shack. I got all this stuff at one place at one time and just brought it all here. Now I have other microphones on the other side of the table. If you can look, you can't see the other side of the table, but the other one has another mic setup where if I have a guest come in or a friend of mine comes in, or maybe I have if I go somewhere else and broadcast live, or I'm part of a group broadcast or a location broadcast, or maybe some of the things I get myself involved in, I want to broadcast and stuff, I can do that. So I have a recorder so I can record people's interviews so that we can be up to date with what's going on with stuff and be 100% ready to go with stuff. I got that too, and I'm looking into other stuff. A Tascam is what I think I'm going to get next, so I can better do my broadcast, better interview people. Because it would have been nice to interview people downtown, but I stopped. They wouldn't let people do interviews. It didn't have the right contacts and right information. I would like to get, some things going on. Maybe these other things, there are other people that are coming in. Donald Trump comes in, I'd love to go to that. If Hillary Clinton comes in, maybe I'd like to hear what she has to say. Because I heard her husband Bill Clinton is coming. And that's what I think is going to be pretty cool, is seeing a president of the United States. That to me is something very nice. That's something really cool to do, is see a former president of the United States, maybe shake his hand, get a picture with him, ask him some questions, maybe even do a small interview for the show or something. I don't know. I wasn't able to do that with the Bernie Sanders. They weren't allowing people. They were turning people away at the time I went down, or went by the place actually. So I'm not going to fool around with that stuff, because people can get in serious trouble for not doing what they're supposed to. And I don't know where to get all these press and this permission and all this other granted stuff they're talking about. I don't know where to get all that stuff. I don't even want to deal with half the stuff that deals with. That is, and there I go yawning again. I don't know why I'm yawning. It's very hot. The weather today was 71. I think the highest today was. It's right now about 38, 40 degrees outside as I speak to you folks, and it is changing. It's becoming springtime. I saw a few robins. I think I saw a blue jay today. When I start seeing the blue jays, I know it's spring, because the robins will come early, but the blue jays are the ones that tell me it's spring. A cardinal. I saw a few cardinals. I saw some blackbird. I think it was a red-winged blackbird. I'm not sure. I did see a yellow bird, but I think it was a yellow sparrow or something like that. So the seasons are changing. Somebody in the iVlog TV chat room just asked, does it feel like spring though? Yeah, well, it does. It's beginning to. It didn't with all the cold. It felt like the fall weather again. That type of, when the trees are going to change colors and the pumpkins are going to grow type feeling. But now it's beginning to feel like summer and spring. It's beginning to feel like the earth is moving in that direction now, so to speak. I know the earth has these rotations and the other stuff it does. I'm trying to get through all the iVlog TV people here. Hello, Cowboy. There's a unicorn with a few numbers after her name. Hello. There's a Tabitha. Hello. And the rest of you, everybody in the iVlog TV chat room. Hello. Got about 20 people this week. Last week we didn't have very many, but this week we do. Every week it changes, really, folks. So if you go up there, you don't necessarily have to make an account. Just you would have a guest. I think it is you pick a name or guest number or something. I don't know. I have an account. So, but tell me you're for my show, because I can assign people to kick the rude people out of the room like I did last week. I have done that this week. There's 2 people in there that will remove people out of the chat room who speak disgusting things and say wrong things and don't want to contribute to the show in any good manner. So if you say I'm here for, I'm here to see the show, or I'm listening live, or whatever you want to say in there, or if I'm from WDBN Radio, or you can, we would make sure that you stay and have a welcome time. And I don't encourage people to get an account, because I know that some people don't only come for my show and they don't want to deal with all the other hassles. But that's fine. And I understand that. I totally understand where somebody would not want to get an account, would not want to take the time to sign up for something that they're not going to use that often. And some of this account stuff is money. You got to pay for it for the certain services. You got to pay for it for the other stuff that goes on. So some people don't like doing that. They absolutely hate having to sign up for stuff. They hate formatting themselves to different ways of doing things. And I totally understand that. So I don't require people to jump right in and jump up in the air, jump up and down for stuff like that. Here's another email just came in asking what the hassle with the phones. I don't know why are the phones having problems. Is this something that's going to keep up? Are we going to see these problems? Because this phone system has not given me any problems all day. It's been wonderful. I got some things fixed in it. I got some things done in it. I managed to make sure it's okay. So if I have problems or something goes haywire or something goes abnormal, I have managed to get it to where I can deal with it. So if I can deal with it and manage it, and it's supposed to be okay, and it's supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing for it, I don't understand why it's not doing what it's supposed to. I'm getting a lot of dings here because I do have a few emails, but they're not for that. So, all right, we got to go on a break. Break time here, folks. www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcasting.com. We'll be right back right after this. And we're back. We are back. More emails. More iVlog TV chat room viewers asking some questions that I want to publicly announce now. I want to publicly say the answers. The question was, is the broadcast every week? Yes, WDBN Radio on www.tunein.com has it every Friday at 10 p.m. It's a rebroadcast of what you're listening to now. But now, I have to say, if you're listening to it now, on Thursdays at 10 p.m., iVlogTV.com is where we go in and we do the broadcast. We have the broadcast. We have a broadcast. We have it live where you can watch it. Is like right now what you're listening to on the YouTube. If you're listening to it on the website, www.thewadeshow.com website, listening to it on WDBN Radio, it's a rebroadcast or it's an archive. But live on Thursdays is when we do it. Fridays it's rebroadcasted on 3 networks. Yeah, actually Tuesdays is broadcasted on 1 and 2 on Fridays. WDBN Radio is one of them, and there's 2 others. One of them, I got a funny email asking me if I wanted to partner up with something else. I'm not sure if I want to do that. And then the other question was, why is my political views so quiet, secretive? She just asked, why am I not saying any of my political views? Well, because of all the arguments. If you remember correctly, when I started saying my political views, I got hate mail. I got excessive of about 20 hate mails. I got 10 hate mails of this, and 5 of this, and 5 of the other, or 15 hate mails telling me I'm stupid, and 5 telling me educational stuff on why my political views are wrong. And I decided when I got up to 25 emails of hate mail or it got down to 10 and 12, or whatever the weeks were that I did, and whenever I spoke about it, always had email telling me I'm wrong and that I'm stupid and that I shouldn't be thinking the way I think. So, I decided that that was enough. Enough was enough. I had it. I couldn't stand it anymore. I stopped saying my political views. I stopped talking about politics. I stopped. But every now and then it comes back up. And it's coming up stronger and stronger and stronger as we get closer to November, the election. Presidential election, a big, huge election here in the United States. Big, folks. And it's going to get stronger. It's going to get more abundant. It's going to get more powerful. It's going to get more head-on strength, so to speak. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm honestly looking right forward to it. I'm ready to go. I am absolutely ready, full speed ahead, ready to go with this political stuff. But I don't want to happen what happened last time. I don't want the hate mail. I don't want you folks that are listening to this program right now telling me your views to hurt my views. I want it to be neutral. I think voting, I'm just going to say this again. I did this already, but I'll say it again. Voting is a personal thing. It's like your sexual identity. It's like your wedding honeymoon. It's like your views on the death penalty and abortion and all that other stuff. It's your personal stuff. It's personal. It's for you only. You walk into a voting booth, the curtain's pulled, or they're dividers, or there's some way where nobody can see what you're doing. Well, that's the reason. There is a reason for that. And that reason is it's personal. It's personal. It's a personal thing. It's like going into the bathroom and taking a shit. Going in the bathroom and taking a big dump. It's a personal thing. Okay? You want nobody in that bathroom with you at all. Even if it's a public bathroom at a Walmart, nobody's in that bathroom taking a piss at the urinal next to you, or the potty next to you, or the toilet next to you. It's all you in that room taking that big old dump, taking that shit. And it's a personal thing. That's what it is, like voting. It's personal. You want nobody around. It's your thought, the way you grew up, the way you were raised, the way you have understood life, the way you want things to be at that moment is all about you. One of the only places in the world, besides the bathroom, that it's all about you and what you're doing and what you're going to choose, how you're going to change things. But it doesn't always work that way. Because obviously, and that ding you just heard is one of the timers telling me we're at the bottom half of the second half of the program. We're gearing up towards the ending of the program, by the way. But anyways, I'm going to go over. I missed the break, but I don't care because this is important. I missed the break earlier that I was supposed to take, but I don't want to double up on stuff when I'm talking about this. It's about you. And you should have it like that. When somebody says, what's your political views, if you're going to discuss it with somebody, make sure that person is going to be open-minded. They're not going to argue with you. They're not going to. I have a good friend, Michael, is out there. If you're listening, hi, Michael. How are you doing? He's often said, if you're going to talk about politics, you're going to do it with an open mind and a kind heart. Because if you don't do it that way, it's going to cause problems. Fights, it's going to cause anger, it's going to cause sadness, it's going to cause bitterness, it's going to cause rivalry. And it shouldn't. I mean, my views of the politics should be my views. Your views are your views. Now, we can discuss stuff. We can talk about why you want Bernie Sanders as president, why I want Donald Trump, why you want Hillary, why I want Donald Trump, why you want Cruz, why I want Donald Trump. Maybe after Bernie Sanders' speech, perhaps, I could say, well, you know, if Donald Trump doesn't make it, Bernie Sanders would be the choice. Because, Donald Trump may not make it in that line of whatever he's running for. He may not make it. He may not do well. And it may be Bernie Sanders versus somebody else. Okay? But I think that's wrong too. I think everybody should run, and they should see who is number one by everybody running. But they don't do it that way. We have electoral votes. We have all this other stuff. We have this the way they do stuff, and it's just a big mess. To me, it's just a big mess. Get 4, 5, 6 people up there and tell me who you want. The people are voted, it's counted, and they sit in a seat and they do their job. That's the way it should be. But it's not that way. It's not that way at all, and it probably hasn't been that way since they created. Our founding fathers probably didn't have it that way either. They probably did some stuff. Somebody ran for office, somebody did something, somebody said, I want the seat, and they got it. Whatever the problem is, it's been there for a long time. And nobody's talking about correcting that problem either. Now, we are talking about having the Congress, the Senate, I think it is mostly the Senate, but a term thing, which I disagree with. If someone's doing a good job, leave them there. But if they're doing a bad job, they should get the hell out. But we decide this stuff. We vote for who we want in the Senate seat. The people in Vermont voted for Bernie Sanders a long time before now, because he's been there for a long time. So they kept voting him in. Here we have Chuck Schumer. We've had some others here in New York State. And they've been in there for a long time. Senator Libous, they've been in there for a long time. And they've been in there because we put them in there and left them in there. But they've done good jobs. Now, Chuck Schumer, I don't know. I really don't like some of the stuff he's done. But some of the other people that we have in there, we put them in there because we liked what they did and we voted for them. And that's the way it is. That's the way it's always going to be. That's the way it always should be. That's the way it's always formed that way, so to speak. www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com, www.iVlogTV.com, www.tunein.com, WDBN Radio. Now, I'm supposed to take a break now, but I'm all flustered, all picked up, all high on this discussion of politics. The iVlogTV.com chat room is some arguments are going on. So how about this? How about we take this last and final big break? When we come back, the ending of the program is here. Not very many people have called in. 607-238-3816. Not very many people have called in this week because you're probably listening. You're probably watching TV or doing something else. Who knows? But here's we're coming up on this break and we got to take it. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Answer the phone again. Somebody did scream in it. Screamed right into the damn phone, right in my ear. Figured they wait to the end to do it. And then I got up, got some cup of coffee or something here. And I'm looking out the window. And a big light shines in my face. So guess what's flying around my neighborhood now? Yep, that's right. Law enforcement again. And I don't think we're going to get in on why they're going around. But the iVlog TV chat room is not laughing. The iVlog TV chat room's been pretty lively tonight. I want to thank all of you. The phone lines have not been pretty lively. Although maybe they made up for it by coming into the actual chat room tonight as I go and burp in the middle of my sentence here. So, like I said, it's your choice who you want to vote for. It's your choice who you choose. Don't let anybody tell you you're going to do a wrong choice either. So, folks, I'm looking at the time, and I'm beginning to figure out that we're almost to the end of our program. We're almost to the end of the program. This week's been pretty quick. Not all the programs With all the ads and stuff, the program admits to be about an hour and 40 minutes, maybe. A lot of the person in the iVlog TV chat room just said, "What? How long's the show?" The show, without the advertising in it, and without the BS that I got to do, these PSAs and all this other stuff that I'm required by the networks to throw in there. I'm required by the networks to have. It's about an hour and 35, an hour and 41 minutes, I believe. Then you throw all that stuff in there, and it makes the 2 hours and 15-minute program. And then you got the other stuff they want to throw in there, which, they have in the past handed me stuff to talk about on the air. That's why when you work in the actual studio building there, you actually work in the place. You don't work from your own home. They at any minute can come in there and throw stuff at you to read and stuff. Or they have rules that you got to follow, certain time periods. But I break up my show, to answer your question, break up my show into 20-minute intervals. And I go over the 20 minutes when I feel like it. And I make up for it for an extra long break. So the last break that you just had was a 12-minute break with the 4 advertisements and the 2 PSAs and stuff. It's about a 12-minute break. Average, the 2 major breaks. But when you get other stuff in there, the news or whatever they put in there, the Diversity Broadcasting Network sometimes will put music. She sometimes will put some other stuff for her to say in there, like the disclaimer that all these views are mine and they're not yours, even though I'm trying to con you into having these views with me. And it's to make her, so I'm fully responsible for the show. And when I moved it into my home here, now I saw that other question in iVlog TV right now. What's the difference? What's the difference between my home and the studio? My home, I can do whatever I want with the show. I have material. I find the material. That's what I said. If you want to email me, www.thewadeshow.com. Email me stories. Email me things you see. Tell me about stuff that's going on. Tell me about, like my friend did with Bernie Sanders and the Native American speech and the stuff he was talking about and everything. And last week we had some other things about animals and animal rights and stuff, which we settled, by the way. But I still might talk about it. I don't know. But I'm not going to talk about it in such an immense, horrible manner that I did. Because they kind of took offense to that. And I don't like having somebody take offense to what I say, because I'm here for news, information, and variety. I'm not here to piss people off, even though I do. And I think it's funny when I piss you off. And I don't care that I piss you off. Because I realize if I piss you off, you're listening to me. And your views and your life and stuff are going to change. And stuff is going to become good because you're pissed off by it. So things are happening. But that's a whole other story. We're going to the top of the hour. We're going to the top of the part where we got to come to a conclusion. And I don't know what's next after me. I don't know. Last week it was music. Somebody in the iVlog TV chat room asked who's next. I think Cowboy or Unicorn's going to be on their program. So check out them. Or you can check out Wolfie's program. He's going to be up there. And then we have a new Girl Wolf. I just saw her tonight. That was a good program to go to on the iVlogTV.com. If you're in Diversity Broadcast, WDVN Radio, I don't know. I sometimes will browse around for music or other talk shows. I listened to an NPR-like kind of program talking about political views and laws or something about courts and stuff, and it was almost interesting, maybe for myself. Maybe somebody with a better mind than me might find it interesting. But if you want music, I use Pandora, to be honest with you. But that's my side. Unless you're up here on Diversity Broadcasting Network, they have a lot of good artists and musicians here, and a lot of singers. They have a great variety of music here. So I suggest maybe you listen to that kind of stuff. But I got to get going. diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com, www.thewadeshow.com. Check out my archives. Folks, I'm going to see you next week. Have a great week.